All right, everyone, get ready because today we're tackling something I know a lot of you out there have been thinking about.
Yeah.
Are coding challenges actually worth it?
Hmm.
You know,
Right.
all those puzzles you see on LeetCode, HackerRank, all those places.
Yeah.
We are going to unpack this whole thing
Right.
using this really cool article from Algo Academy.
Interesting.
You know that platform.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
It's for learning to code. They're popular, but they're trying to change things up a little bit.
Okay.
So I think this will be a good deep dive.
I'm excited.
So have you ever felt like you should be doing those coding puzzles,
Uh-huh. Yeah, all the time.
but you're not sure if they're actually going to help you?
Right, exactly.
Oh, let's find out.
I'm in.
Okay, so first
Okay.
of all, let's just make sure we're all on the same page.
Okay.
What are coding challenges, really?
Yeah, good point.
I mean, we've all seen them, but like, how does the article actually define them?
Right, they describe them as these short, focused exercises where you get this specific problem
Okay.
and you have to solve it with code.
Okay, so like a mini coding project.
Yeah, exactly.
With a very clear goal
Exactly.
and a right answer or a wrong answer.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, now I know some platforms,
Uh-huh.
they make it a competition.
Oh, yeah.
Leaderboards, rankings
Right.
can be a little addictive.
Uh-huh, for sure.
But is that helping us learn, or is that just a distraction?
That is the big question.
Yeah.
The article says those coding challenges,
Mm-hmm.
they can be a really good way to learn.
Okay.
But like any tool,
Right.
you got to use it the right way.
Okay, so let's start with the good stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
What makes these coding challenges so awesome?
Well, one of the best things
Mhm.
is that they make you
Yeah.
use what you know
Mm-hmm.
in a real way.
Okay.
Remember we talked about the learner,
Yes.
the person who wants to actually understand stuff,
Yeah.
not just read about it.
Right.
Well, there's no better way
Uh-huh.
than actually doing it.
It's like reading about how a car works
Yeah.
versus actually getting in there,
Exactly.
tinkering with it, getting your hands dirty.
You learn by doing.
Yeah.
And they actually have a good example in the article.
Okay.
It's this type of challenge
Mhm.
called dynamic programming.
Okay.
And these challenges force you to
Yeah.
break down these big problems
Oh, okay.
into these smaller, easier problems.
Right.
And that is a skill you
Yeah.
need in real software development.
So it's not just about finding a solution.
Right.
It's about finding the best one
Yes.
by
Exactly.
thinking about it in a really smart way.
That's it.
Okay.
It's like a mental workout
Mm-hmm.
for your coding brain.
Yeah,
The more you practice, the better you get.
I like it.
Yeah.
But I have heard people say
Yeah.
that coding challenges,
Mm-hmm.
they're not always that realistic.
Right.
You're solving this puzzle,
Uh-huh.
but how does that actually translate?
Right. Building real software.
That is a concern, and the article talks about that.
Okay.
It's true.
Yeah.
Some of those challenges, they can be pretty abstract. They
Right.
might not be exactly like what you'd see in a real project.
So there's a chance you get too caught up
Yes.
in just solving the puzzle
Mm-hmm.
and you miss out on some other skills
Right. Exactly.
you need to know.
They call it
Okay.
algorithm overload.
Algorithm overload.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're so focused on algorithms
Yeah.
that you forget about writing code that's clean,
Yeah.
code that other people can understand.
So it's not just about code that works.
Right.
It's about code that's good.
Exactly.
Code that's organized,
Yeah.
well documented,
Yes. Yes.
easy to work with.
And those are not things you learn from.
Yeah.
Just solving puzzles.
Right.
And this is where things get interesting.
Okay.
Because Algo Academy is trying to change this. They're
Yeah.
trying to connect.
Those puzzles
Yeah.
to the real world.
Very cool. We'll get into that in part 2.
We will.
Okay, so we talked about the problem-solving stuff
Yeah.
and maybe getting a little too focused on the algorithms.
Mhm.
But what about the emotional side?
Oh, yeah. That's important.
I mean, those coding challenges,
Yeah.
they can be tough.
They can be really tough.
And I've definitely felt that frustration
For sure.
when you just can't figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
The article talks about that too.
It does.
Frustration factor, especially for beginners.
Especially for beginners.
It's easy to get discouraged,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you see everyone else on the leaderboard
Right.
doing so well.
And it can take so much time
Yeah,
when you get stuck.
right.
Remember, the learner wants to learn quickly,
Yeah.
efficiently.
Okay, so how do you balance challenging yourself
Yeah.
but not getting completely demotivated?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk more about that
Okay.
when we look at how Algo Academy does things.
Right.
But you have to remember,
Mm-hmm.
struggling,
Yeah.
It's normal.
Right.
It's part of learning.
It's like learning to play an instrument.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to be perfect right away.
Yep.
It takes practice.
Patience.
And you got to be okay with making mistakes.
Yeah, it's all part of it.
But just like with music,
Mm-hmm.
there's that feeling
Yes.
when you finally nail it.
Okay.
And with coding challenges,
Yeah,
that's where that aha moment comes in.
that's it.
I love those.
Me too.
When you finally get it,
Yes.
your code works.
It's the best feeling.
So rewarding, and
Yeah.
that feeling
Yeah.
can really push you forward.
It gives you confidence.
Yeah.
The more you solve, the
Mhm.
more you believe you can solve anything.
But there's another side to this.
Oh.
Tell me more.
The article talks about bad habits
Okay.
that you can get if you just focus on getting the right answer.
Okay.
They call it the bad habit risk.
Bad habit risk.
Yeah.
What kind of bad habits are we talking about?
So think about it.
Okay.
You're trying to solve this challenge.
Mm-hmm.
You want the shortest, cleverest code,
Right.
but maybe it's not that easy to read.
Okay.
It's like cramming a whole sentence
Yeah.
into just a few words.
Right.
It might be correct,
Mm-hmm.
but no one can understand it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And in the real world,
Yeah.
good code
Mm-hmm.
is code that people can understand.
Right. Especially if you're working on a team.
Exactly.
So even though that short, clever code gets you points in the challenge,
Right.
it might actually be bad
It could be.
in a real project.
Yeah, you need to find a balance
Okay.
between those clever solutions
Yeah.
and good habits
Right.
that will help you in the long run.
And we're going to talk about
Yes.
how Algo Academy handles this
That's right.
in the next part.
We want.
So stay tuned.
Don't go anywhere.
All right, we're back. And before the break, we were talking about how coding challenges
Yeah.
can lead to some bad habits.
Uh-huh.
But we hinted that maybe Algo Academy has some answers.
They might.
So tell me, what are they doing differently?
One big thing is how they organize learning.
Okay.
Instead of just giving you a bunch of random challenges,
Yeah.
they have these paths. They guide you.
So it's more like a real curriculum?
Exactly like building a house.
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't start with the roof.
Right.
Got to have a good foundation first,
Yeah, that makes sense.
especially for beginners.
Yeah.
It can be overwhelming otherwise.
Okay, but what about when you get stuck?
Oh, that happens to everyone.
Yeah.
But Algo Academy, they have this cool feature.
What is it?
It's like AI help,
Oh, wow.
like a coding buddy
Okay.
that gives you hints.
So they're using technology to help you learn.
Exactly.
Very cool. But we also talked about how
Yeah.
sometimes those challenges, they're too abstract.
It's not like real programming.
Yeah, so Algo Academy is trying to fix that too. How are the challenges?
Yeah.
They're more like real world stuff.
Okay.
Like designing a database
Oh, cool.
or building part of a user interface.
So you're getting closer
Yeah.
to what you'd actually do on the job.
Yeah, that's the idea.
That's awesome. But what about feedback?
Mm-hmm.
In a real job, you have other programmers
Yeah,
to help you,
code reviews. Yeah,
right? Does Algo Academy have that?
they do. And it's really good.
Oh, okay.
It's not just right or wrong.
Yeah.
They tell you how to make your code better,
Oh, nice.
more efficient, easier to read.
Like having a senior developer right there.
Exactly.
Wow, that's really helpful.
Especially if you're learning on your own.
Okay, so we've talked about the structure,
Mhm.
the help you get,
Yeah.
but what about community?
Oh, that's a big part of Algo Academy.
Why is that so important?
Well, remember we talked about soft skills?
Right.
Like communication.
Working with others. Communities let you practice that.
So it's like a virtual coding boot camp.
Yeah, you can connect with other people.
Share ideas.
Yeah, learn from each other.
And it helps to know you're not alone.
Definitely.
So it sounds like Algo Academy is trying to combine the best of everything.
Yeah, they're trying to be different.
Okay, but even with all that,
Yeah.
we still need to ask, are coding challenges really for everyone?
Right, we talked about pros and cons,
Yeah.
but it's a personal decision.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
What should our listeners think about?
Well, first, what are your goals?
Hmm.
Why are you learning to code?
Right.
Do you want a specific job?
Yeah.
Do you have a project in mind?
Or are you just learning for fun?
Exactly. It's easy to get caught up in the hype.
Yeah, like you have to do these challenges.
Right. But they might not be right for you.
There's no one right way to learn.
Nope. Everyone is different.
So you got to find what works for you.
And if you do use coding challenges,
Mm-hmm.
don't go overboard.
Okay.
Use them strategically.
What do you mean?
Think of them as a supplement,
Okay.
not the main course.
Right.
Don't forget about other things,
Like what?
like building your own projects,
Okay.
reading books, learning different tools.
It's like cross-training for your brain.
Exactly. You need to work out all the parts.
And when you're doing challenges,
Yeah.
don't rush.
Take your time.
Really understand the problem,
Like enjoying a meal.
not just scarfing it down.
Exactly.
And don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes. From communities, friends,
Yeah.
anyone.
Find that balance.
Yeah, between pushing yourself and knowing when you need help.
But speaking of communities, remember that little comment
Oh, yeah.
at the end of the article?
About the downsides.
Right. About relying too much.
Yes, on communities.
We need to talk about that.
We do. There's another side of that coin.
Okay, so let's dive into that.
It's a topic people don't talk about much.
But it's important.
It is, if you want to really understand.
Okay, so stay tuned.
I'll be right back.
All right, welcome back, everyone. So we've been unpacking all this stuff about coding challenges.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, the Algo Academy way, all that. But there's this one thing that the article mentioned that we haven't really talked about yet.
Yeah, the downsides of communities.
Right, like relying on them too much.
It's a tricky one.
It is, but hey, that's what these deep dives are for, right?
Exactly. We got to go deep.
Okay, so we talked about all the great things about communities.
Yeah, the support, learning together, all that.
Right, it's like having this awesome network. But like any tool,
Right.
you got to use it the right way.
Or it can backfire.
It's like, using your GPS for every single trip.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Sure, you'll get there.
Yeah.
But you might miss out on some cool stuff along the way.
And you'll never learn to navigate on your own.
Exactly. And with coding, that's like losing your problem-solving skills.
Right. If you always ask for the answer, you never learn to think for yourself.
It's like having a personal trainer who does all the work for you.
Yeah.
You might look good, but you're not actually getting stronger.
You need to challenge yourself.
Exactly.
And in the long run,
that's
going to hold you back as a programmer.
You become dependent.
Yes.
Instead of learning to solve problems independently.
That's it. But isn't the whole point of a community to help each other out?
Yeah, sharing knowledge is a good thing.
It is. It is. But there's a balance.
Okay.
You need guidance.
Yeah.
But not too much reliance.
So how do you know if you're relying too much?
Well, one sign
Okay.
is if you always run to the forums before even trying yourself.
Like peeking at the answer key
Exactly.
before you even try the problem.
You might get it right,
Yeah.
but you didn't really learn it.
Right. And another thing
Yeah.
is if you only look for the exact solution instead of trying to understand the bigger picture.
Yeah, like following a recipe
Okay.
without knowing why it works.
Right. You can bake a cake, but you can't create something new.
That's a great point.
And this brings us to another potential problem.
Oh, what's that?
The hive mind.
Yes, I've heard of that.
What does that mean in this context?
Well, it's like when everyone in a group
Yeah.
starts thinking the same way,
Okay.
and it can stifle creativity.
So if everyone's doing the same thing, no one's trying anything new.
Exactly. It's like everyone wearing the same uniform.
Yeah, I get it.
It might look organized, but there's no room for individual thought.
And in programming,
Yes.
innovation is key
It is. We need people who think differently,
to push things forward.
to break the rules.
And those people might not thrive in a community
Right.
that only wants you to conform.
But that doesn't mean communities are bad.
Right.
They can be amazing
Yeah.
for learning and connect.
But you need to be aware
Yes.
of the potential downsides.
And use them wisely.
So what's the takeaway for our listeners?
Well, think about why you're using communities. Are you really trying to learn?
Yeah.
Or just looking for easy answers?
Be honest with yourself.
Exactly. And if you do ask for help,
Yeah.
don't just copy-paste.
Okay.
Discuss. Ask questions.
Understand the why.
Yes, make it a conversation.
And don't be afraid to share your own ideas.
Even if they're different.
That's how we get new things.
Innovation comes from diversity.
So use communities to help you grow, not to hold you back.
The goal is to become a confident programmer who can solve problems on your own.
With or without the community.
That's it.
All right, so that was our deep dive.
Into coding challenges in communities.
It's a complex world out there.
It is.
But we hope this gave you some things to think about.
As you continue your coding journey.
Absolutely, remember.
Yeah.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Embrace the challenges.
Seek help when you need it.
But keep exploring.
The world of coding is huge.
Always something new to learn.
And who knows, maybe you will create the next amazing app.
Or algorithm.
Or piece of software.
The possibilities are endless.
So go out there.
And code.
That's all for this deep dive. What do you think about coding challenges? How do you use communities? We want to hear from you. Until next time, happy coding.